Welcome back. Well, today is a very special day, and I'm not just talking about Valentine's Day. It's National Donor Day, which is dedicated to celebrating living organ donors and spreading awareness about organ, eye, and tissue donation. With me today is Anastasia Henry, the Executive Director of the American Transplant Foundation, and real-life superhero Matt Martinez, living kidney donor and living donor rights advocate. And boy, when we talk about superheroes, I think, Matt, you definitely qualify. You are the real living. You don't have a cape on today, but you have done what many don't do. So why don't you talk a little bit about your unique story and your journey of being a living donor?
Well, I donated a kidney to Dave Repshire, Flight for Life, helicopter crash survivor from a few years ago. Did I know that all this would take place after donating? No. But so helping out with American Transplant as a mentor for others. Also helping out with donor rights with American Transplant as well. And yeah, it's crazy.
You know, we could be here all day probably listening to your wonderful story and the stories of so many people who have done what you've done and the great sacrifice you've given. But Anastasia, you've been with the foundation now for like 9 years. Will you talk a little bit about it and really what you guys do?
Yeah. So 9 years ago, my mom, she was in the very final stage of battling cancer. And she was a doctor. I'm not a doctor, but I really had that feeling that without having a medical degree and medical background, I want to be working for a nonprofit that is dedicated to saving lives. So I can save somebody's dad, I can save someone's mom. So it's really is amazing to be able to do this work. And I reflect on my mom, and I really hope that she's proud of what we've built. We actually are 15 years old as the foundation.
Wow.
And every year we just push the envelope and we try to come up with more ideas and more actions to be there to save as many lives as possible and also to protect living donor rights.
Absolutely. No, this is National Donor Day. So talk about why this day is important, not just to people who might need a donation, but to people who are giving or might think about giving.
Absolutely. So this is our chance to educate the general public about living donation. So living donation and the process, the surgery, the recovery, it's so different than what it used to be 15 years ago. So it's important for people to understand the facts, not to be scared, and also for those people who are waiting for a transplant and they're considering asking someone to become their living donors, we want to eliminate fears. We want to provide facts. We want to provide support so everybody understands what is at stake.
Matt, you mentioned living donor rights. Talk about why that's important to you. What kind of work are you doing, and why is that something that really is at the top of your list?
So it wasn't just me alone. It was actually with American Transplant Foundation and many other volunteers as well to help out. But one of the laws two laws that took place this year as of January 1st. The first one I worked on was Living Donor Support Act, where your employer gets a tax incentive for paying you an extra 2 weeks after you donate an organ. And then the second one was the Living Donor Insurance Act, where insurance companies can't give you higher premiums or anything for being a living donor and give you a pre-existing condition.
Those are all, those are the things that maybe fall through the cracks that a lot of people don't think about. They want to do something wonderful for someone else, but then it comes to hurt them later, and you're thinking, wait, how did this happen? Why did this even happen at all? What are some myths that maybe people out there don't understand or may think and aren't true?
So first of all is the recovery, right? Because like I said earlier, the process, the surgical procedure is very different these days, which is fantastic. So some donors, they're out of the hospital within 1 to 3 days, which is really amazing. And you can start working from home within a week. Usually when people donate a kidney, they're back to work in a couple of weeks if it's non-physical. For liver donation is different. It's much more intense and the recovery is longer. But 97% of all Coloradans who are waiting for a transplant, they need a kidney or a liver.
Yes.
2 organs that can be donated by a living donor.
I love that. Now, talk about some free services that are out there that can help people.
So One of our fabulous mentors in our transplant mentorship program, Matt Martinez, right here. So it's a free program, the largest transplant mentorship program in the country. 200 mentors, 12 languages. Whether you are waiting for a transplant or your loved one needs a transplant or you're thinking about donating an organ, we are there for you. Our mentors are there for you every step of
I
the way.
love this. This is such a great just a program to say, okay, we're going to help you along the way. Guys, it has been so wonderful having you here. I'm so glad. Everything you do is so important, and it's been a blessing to us just to have you on the show today. What a great Valentine's Day. The American Transplant Foundation is dedicated to making Colorado the first state where no one dies while waiting for a transplant. So visit their website at americantransplantfoundation.org to learn more about their programs and how you can help make a difference. All right, guys, it's Valentine's Day. What a great thing to end on right now. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you Monday at 11:30 a.m. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This was so fun.
That was awesome. Thank you, Matt.
Yes, this was great.
All right.